What is up, everybody? Ninja Nick back with another league challenge. This is round 1 at Clifton Park's Flipside Gaming. We have myself here on the left with Gardevoir EX and Chris Saikala on the right, also with Gardevoir EX. We're gonna start our timer here because we have the fist bump. I did win the coin flip, so I am gonna go first. A very key way to stay ahead in the Gardevoir mirror. I do start the Cresselia. I was assuming that he was going to be on Lost Box because that's the deck that he usually plays a bit more, but Gardevoir is usually Chris's second pick, so not too surprised to see him on Gardevoir. And at this point, I did not realize yet he was on Gardevoir because of the Radiant Greninja, so I'm still going to be playing it like it's Lost Box until otherwise specified. So here I go in with my Fog Crystal. I'm going to look through, check my prize cards here. You can see I'm playing the Mew EX. Finally came in the mail, so I get to try it out IRL. It had been doing really well for me in on PTCGL, but it's still really hard to pull off, so I'm not entirely sold on the card myself. I think with the way the meta currently is developing from the regionals, that's kind of ongoing as I'm recording this. The Sacramento regionals is that maybe Spiritomb would be a good play in the deck. A lot of Lugia and Mew VMAX are still unfortunately in the format, and those are a couple of hard matchups for Gardevoir to contest with, and that Spiritomb really does help quite a bit, shutting down those Genesect Vs as well as Luminion Vs. But I do get down a Ralts here off of that Fog Crystal. We are going to put down another one that was in our opening hand, and Ultra Ball away double Psychic Energy. What I could have done here is saved one of the Psychic Energies, Ultra Balled for a Radiant Greninja, and maybe in hindsight that would have been more correct, but I'm just trying to get as many Ralts in play as possible. I'm really hoping that that Level Ball that's in hand is going to be able to draw me a decent amount of good cards here. That will make my hand a little bit more playable, because right now it's really just a Gardevoir EX in there, and I don't really know what much else to do with that hand. Yeah, it's Gardevoir EX Level Ball, so I'm hoping like my top deck will be a card that I can discard for the Kirlia. Maybe I can find an INO or something off the top of my deck here, but we go for the Radiant Greninja here from Chris's first turn. I am going to open up my notepad and write down what I believe my prizes are. I did identify all 6 of my prize card, or 5 of my prize cards off of that initial deck search. I did prize 2 Psychic Energy, 2 Reversal Energy, as well as Gardevoir EX. So the one that is in my hand is the only one that I do have available to me. So if I do get Professor's Research, I'm going to really have to weigh whether or not that's the correct option. But I do have both Super Rod available to me, so if I do have to discard it, it's not the worst thing in the world. And yeah, we see Chris does go for the Worker after his concealed cards. Draws him a few cards. Not the ideal turn 1 supporter, but at least it's something going on for him. That immediately shows me that he is on Gardevoir instead after discarding that Psychic Energy. So Psychic Energy still could have been a Lost Box deck, but as soon as you see that Worker, they don't play that in Lost Box. That's pretty much a Gardevoir exclusive card to try to outpath to the peak most of the time. Sometimes your own Collapse Stadium kind of gets in the way. So we are going to see the Battle VIP Pass being drawn off of that Worker, allows Chris to get double Ralts into play, and then a Fog Crystal to get the Mew, showing that he has an additional Psychic Energy in his hand he can use to retreat, and hopefully find another Battle VIP Pass off of this top 6. So Chris having a much more stellar start than I did. I did not find a single Battle VIP Pass in my opening hand, or any way to potentially get into it. Another thing I could have done was keep one of the energies, Ultra Ball for the Mew, retreat into it, and then use its ability. But I was a little afraid of putting the basic Mew in play if I was going to be against Lost Box, because it's really easy for them to get like a turn 2 Sableye, knock out both your 60 HP Ralts and your 60 HP Mew. So that's why I didn't go for that play, but in hindsight that would have been pretty good as well. As long as it at least found me a Battle VIP pass. So we're going to shuffle up after this Battle VIP heap here. Chris is going to have all 4 Ralts available to him on turn 1, so it's looking like this might be Chris's game to win here. Because, of course, 1 more Ralts than me, plus he also has the Mew and the Radiant Greninja, so he has a lot more draw power. Here I top deck the Mew EX, and I really don't want to put it down, but I have to find my way into a card to discard with the Kirlia, as well as just any way to maybe find a draw supporter like Research or INO, or even my own worker. So we are hoping we are going to get there. So I am going to actually evolve my 60 HP Ralts into the Kirlia to give it more HP. I'm going to use the Mew's Restart to draw 2 cards, one of which, of course, is that Battle VIP pass. You'll love to see it. I did shuffle the deck with that first level ball, so there's no real way to know if that would have been off of the baby Mew had I gone for that. But we use our first concealed card, our first refinement here. And after that, we do play the level ball, which is the other card we drew off of the Mew EX. So the 2 cards we drew off of Mew EX actually being pretty busted there, because of course we are able to just find that level ball to be able to keep chaining Kirlias. So not too bad. I use the level ball, of course, after the Kirlia because I want the chance to draw into a Kirlia, having the most increased odds of having those available to me. So correct sequencing on my part for once in my life. And still not too much I can really do with this hand unless I found exactly the rare candy, but I did manage to find rare candy off of that second Kirlia, so I can attack this turn. So this is actually really good for me now. I will be able to snipe 1 of the Ralts off of Chris's bench here. So since I have 3 energy, that's exactly enough to kill the 60 HP Ralts. I was 1 energy short of being able to knock out any of Chris's other Ralts that have 70 HP, so luckily for me, he did actually get all 4 Ralts down. Otherwise, I would have had to target his Mew here, which Mew is still really good for him. As you can see, there was a rare candy actually in this 6, so the fact that he didn't go for that there showed his hand was pretty strong. Already using that rare candy into Gardevoir EX himself right before that. So his hand, obviously, stronger than mine. So, going to use the concealed cards, getting rid of that fog crystal that, the energy from the fog crystal that he just used. Is going to find a refinement Kirlia. We'll be able to use that. No more psychic energies in hand for him, thankfully for me. So, he will have to discard a different type of card here. And he is going to need multiple psychic energies in the discard pile in order to be able to use his own Cresselia, in order to do the same thing and knock out one of my Kirlias. So this might actually be, I do believe he might have to go for an attack with the Gardevoir EX if he gets enough energy in the discard pile. I know I saw at least 2 in there. I think there might be 3 at this point. He is also going to Ultra Ball here. He does have the wrong Kirlia in his hand, the Mirage Step, which isn't doing him too well right now, so he could Ultra Ball for a refinement Kirlia, depending on what is in his prizes, but it looks like Chris is just deciding to go for the evolution into Mirage Step instead, valuing just getting the evolution off as opposed to digging through his deck for another refinement one. He is also going to boss up my Kirlia that doesn't have energy. Good on him to pick the one that doesn't have energy, because that energy will not go to the discard pile if this Kirlia is knocked out. So I thought at first he was doing this just to stall, especially since I did see the Cresselia come down, but he retreats into the Gardevoir EX, which I found to be a very interesting play here. Is going to get rid of his own Greninja with the Collapse Stadium, knowing that I have that Mew EX in play. Does not want that to get bossed up and have 2 of his Kirlia go down in 1 attack, so that is no longer an out for me. I do not have the boss in the hand, but if I did have it and I had the energies available to me, that 100% would have been the play every single time. Try to cripple your opponent's outs to having their Kirlias in play. So well played by Chris here. My Mew EX is now pretty useless in this matchup. It's just going to be sitting there to draw me some extra cards. So I promote my Gardevoir EX just because if I do want to attack with the Cresselia again, that will put another energy into my discard pile, as well as, you know, you can Psychic Embrace to it, retreat the energy back off, reuse that same energy for the Psychic Embrace. So just getting extra damage into play for Cresselia. I do use... Did I use the Mew restart here? I think I had too many cards at this point. So I used Refinement to try to dig me a little bit further. That is a Psychic Energy. I apologize for the glare. I do like my glare sleeves in particular. So I'm trying to decide what I'm going to discard off of this Ultra Ball. And I'm going to choose to evolve into the Gardevoir first for the Shining Arcana. Because I was considering the restart after Ultra Balling, but that didn't really feel quite right with how my hand was going. So I'm going to bench another Ralts here as well. And I'm going to keep trying to chain more Raltses back onto my side of the board, because I do know I'm behind in Gardevoir line pieces. And Chris has 3, and I have now 3 again, but the Ralts will need to be evolving. So I am Ultra Balling here, discarding the Battle VIP Pass and the Psychic Energy just to fail it. And I am intending, I do believe, to at least restart for 1. Yep, and I do. I restart for 1. I do have the INO here, and I draw exactly Super Rod. I know it's really hard to tell, but that is super good for me because I can put back in that Ralts and Kirlia and hopefully redraw into the Ralts to be able to put back down, as well as maybe a Stadium or a Lost Vacuum in order to replace the Collapsed Stadium. Get as many Ralts back into play as possible so that I can keep up the trade going here with these Refinement Kirlias. 18 minutes approximately on the clock here, so still plenty of time to finish the game. These Gardevoir mirrors do tend to run long, and this is best of 1, so we will only be seeing 1 game. I'm putting 1 card to the bottom of my deck with INO. It doesn't really matter what Chris's hand looks like, because he does have like double Kirlia, so we'll likely see that second Kirlia with a Mirage Step evolve into a Shining Arcana, so he'll be drawing at least 4 cards a turn, can always use the Mew as well. So Chris is going to have access to quite a few cards to work with every turn, whether I INO him or not, so might as well just go for it. I replaced the Stadium with the Artisan, allowing me to get that Ralts I just Super Rotted back into play here. So things are looking a little bit up for me now. My problem is I don't really have a way to really contest this Gardevoir EX very well. There's no way for me to one-shot it. I do not have the energy available to me. Generally, you would need reversal energy online, and since I'm ahead on prizes, I can't actually do that. So I'm using Psychic Embrace, retreating into the Cresselia, and then Psychic Embrace again. So I have damage on 2 of my bench Pokemon. And then I'm just choosing where else to put the energy. I know my Mew EX has free retreat, so I'm choosing not to load that up, especially since I don't plan on attacking it there. One, two, three. Oh, did I not? Did I not have the energy? Hang on. I think I fucked up. Yeah, so I only put... Yeah, so this is where you should place the damage counters. Because I didn't... I should have placed an energy on here. I didn't have the knockout on that Kirlia. I needed to place 1 more energy, so I had to put it on this Ralts or the Cresselia. So yeah, that's wrong. Yeah, I couldn't take that knockout there, so that's my bad. Yeah, I have to start placing damage counters. Yeah, because I Psychic Embrace to this, this and this that turn. So that's 60 damage only. This Cresselia already had that energy on it, and these two don't have energy. So that's actually only 60 damage, so that is my bad. This won't end up mattering for the match here. But it certainly could have, so I'll have to apologize to Chris for that next time I see him. So we are going to Ultra Ball here. We are going to discard a Psychic Energy, of course, because we want those in the discard pile. Or no, double Battle VIP Pass seems a lot pretty good here as well. Going to be able to... yeah, I told him my point. I'm like, oh yeah, that's pretty good. So he gets his own Mew EX here. And I actually do believe, yeah, he's got an Ultra Ball here. I believe if I remember correctly, he is going to Ultra Ball and then use the Mew EX to draw 3 cards. Which is a pretty good play, in all honesty. So we are going to see the retreat into Cresselia, so that Chris will be able to use his own Moonglow reverse here. So he does 2, so he has 80 total damage. He's moving because the Cresselia and the Gardevoir here both have 20 on them, so 20, 40, 60, 80. He will move, and then he can knock out either one of my Ralts. And yeah, here we go. So he's Ultra Balling away Guardi EX and Manaphy in order to just have the Mew EX in hand. So this is the turn he does it. He attached this Psychic Energy from hand for turn. So this is the only card in his hand here. And he's going to restart for a full 3. Not too bad of draws there. Gets another Psychic Energy at the very least. And he is going to almost knocks out my Ralts with the energy on it. Realizes I only have 1 Psychic Energy in my discard pile. So chooses the Ralts without the Psychic Energy. Again, so that I can't use my Cresselia as much. So I'm still in a really rough spot. I only have 1 Pokemon that allows me to draw cards, unless you count the Mew, but usually I have too many cards in my hand to use Mew. But not enough to where it feels strong. Like, it's not a strong hand at all. So here comes Psychic Embrace, drawing 2 more cards. I do find a rare Candy here, which is really great to be able to evolve that Ralts, but unfortunately I do not have any Gardevoirs at all in my hand. I would really like to see a Gardevoir of any sort so that I can evolve that Ralts and have it not be hurt by the Cresselia. And this turn now, because of the energies that are in my discard pile, I don't really have the option to attack with Cresselia. I won't be able to, like, say, knock out his Mew on the bench or anything like that. So I am going to have to retreat into one of my 2 Gardevoirs here to potentially get a knockout. There's 1 Psychic Energy in the discard pile. There's 1 on the Cresselia, so that'll be 2. So I might have to attack with Brainwave this turn. I'm going to evolve, I think, into the Mirage Step Curlia. This is probably like the longest turn of the game for me because I can't really figure out what I want to do. And I'm so afraid of not having draw access that I'm actually thinking about Super Rodding that Lone Ralts back into my deck as well. And I do that. So I put that back and then I Artisan it immediately back out. And I should have taken that opportunity to just look in the deck to see what was left. Because I did search my deck, even though that Ralts, I just put it back on top and immediately got it back out. Always just, like, give your deck a quick look to remind yourself of what's in there. But, of course, I do know what I think all of my prize cards are here at this point, so I guess it's not super relevant. So I'm lost vacuuming away my own Artisan so that Chris can't use it. Playing my own Collapse to get rid of my own Mew EX because Chris is at 4 bench Pokemon and that is a very low HP 2-prize liability. Chris can be able to knock it out with the Gardevoir EX, because it does do 190, Mew EX has 180, so I'm trying to lock him into keeping his own Mew EX in play. I don't know if he plays 2 Collapse Stadium in the deck. Sometimes these Gardevoir decks do that, so here I go, retreating into Gardevoir EX with the Psychic Embrace. I'm going to have 40 damage on it, attach 1 from hand for turn, and use the, what's it called? Miracle Force attack. So there I go, placing my damage counters. Take my 1 prize here. And Chris is able to promote his Mew. He gets a Super Rod, shuffling some of his Pokemon back into the deck here. So considering the Cresselia, but he's actually going to go double Ralts, and Refinement Curlia makes the most sense to me. I think Cresselia's kind of outlived its usefulness here. He could still use it on my Cresselia and it wouldn't be that bad, but I think rebuilding your own board state is a little bit more important here. So immediately uses a level ball to refine to that Ralts he just put back, is going to attach the Reversal Energy, and this is what really punishes me here. So I had to take that knockout either with the with either of my 2 Gardevoirs in play, and I chose the one with more HP that gives more prizes, kind of just hoping that Chris didn't have the Reversal Energy, and he did. So I'm getting super punished here. Should have attacked with the other Gardevoir, which would then make it so I have no Pokemon in play that I can use to draw cards, which would be really unfortunate if I'm hit with an INO, but at least I'd still have my Gardevoir EX in play in that case. And Chris wouldn't go ahead on prizes, so yeah, he's gonna go ahead and do that now. So retreating his Mew off into the Gardevoir with Brainwave. He's gonna load that up with a little bit extra energy if he needs that. He's at 3, 4, 5. He's hitting 210 right now, so that'll put me at 250 damage total. So he needs 2 more energy, I think. Yeah, I think he just needs 2 more energy, right? Or did I miscount? 6. No, I did miscount. No, he's one short without that last energy. No, he didn't need that energy. I think Chris miscounted. He didn't need that last energy. He just needed 2. But that's alright. He gets a knockout either way. So, this is where the game swings pretty much in Chris's favor, and I don't really know how I'm going to respond to this. I'm going to be forced to knock out his Gardevoir with my Gardevoir here. And, you know, I could try to stay ahead on the prize trade by playing a boss's orders, but that'll leave all of his energy in play. He could just be, you know, he could always attack with Mew EX next turn. He could find a rare candy, evolve his Ralts into another Gardevoir next turn. There's a bunch of ways where this could really go downhill. And I do use Curlia's Refinement, discarding another Refinement Curlia to draw 2. Not really what you want to see here. Found that Curlia for the turn. And since I have the double regular Gardevoirs here in play, that is showing you that one of these last 3 prize cards is a Gardevoir EX, and since I played both Super Rods already, I have no way to put my Gardevoir EX that just got knocked out back into the deck. So this entire game was very horribly played by me. I think I had a much better shot had I done quite a few things differently, but I'm still trying to pull it back here now. I do have a boss's orders in hand, but I'm only hitting for 150 right now, so I can't just boss up the Mew EX and hit it unless I want to attach that Psychic Energy in hand for turn. Right? Because I have, yeah, because I got that 1 energy on it from Psychic Embrace. No, not Psychic, from Shining Arcana. And I have an energy in hand here. Yeah, so I have the boss. What I should be doing is attaching that energy to my active and then bossing Mew EX to take 2 prizes, thus almost guaranteeing that I get the Gardevoir EX and being 1 prize away from winning. But instead here I go for the Iono, and I'm looking to knock out this Gardevoir with my Gardevoir. I attach the energy to my benched Gardevoir in case I don't get the EX off my prize cards. That way I still have a way to Brainwave the next turn. So, like, now I'm planning on bossing next turn, but I just Iono'd one of my 2 bosses to the bottom of the deck. So, I don't know what my reasoning was this turn, like, to do that. But the one card that I did get off my prizes is exactly Gardevoir EX. So, possibly not punished. And Chris goes for his next Super Rod here. He's going to put in a Ralts as well as a Cresselia. The Cresselia will be really great to knock out that Kirlia on the bench. So, even if I went for the correct play the last turn, bossing up the Mew EX, and then knocking that out, taking 2 prize cards, if Chris just knocks out my Kirlia on the bench, I still... Well, no, because if he knocks out my Kirlia on the bench, I still have the active to attack with that's hitting for 180. So he would just need to not attack with Gardevoir EX, or I would need another boss's orders. So, yeah, I think even if I did play that turn correctly, I would still be in a rough spot. Just because he happened to have that Super Rod. Or no, I Iono'd him. So I Iono'd him into the Super Rod. So yeah, maybe I would be in a better position without it, if I just bossed instead. So we are going to see a refinement getting rid of the Shining Arcana Gardevoir. Very interesting there, because that could always draw you some more cards later. We do see the Worker is back in hand, because that got Palpated back into the deck at some point, or he's playing multiple copies. I haven't noticed the Palpad yet, unless I missed it, so he might be playing just 2 or 3 Worker, which is a popular choice amongst some Gardevoir players these days, just as a good out to Path, but I don't think Path is being played in high numbers right now. It was a few weeks ago, but not at the moment. So we do see Worker coming out here, drawing some cards. And Ultra Balling away Rare Candy, because he doesn't really need that anymore at this point, as well as 1 Psychic Energy to get that Cresselia back into play, and now he can use that to knock out my Kirlia on the bench, basically locking the game for him, because I will have to find my boss's orders. I do have both my boss still left in my deck, and I do have both my Shining Arcanas here, so if I'm able to just find 1 Psychic Energy to put on my Gardevoir, or a Reversal Energy, which one of them was taken off my prize cards and is in my deck again, did get Iono'd into the deck, as well as that boss's orders, I will be able to take the game, but I need to find those cards. So, yeah, now I'm going to try to piece together a way to find both boss and energy at the same time. My deck contents, which I'm going to find out from this Ultra Ball here and now. My deck has the 1 Reversal Energy, I believe 1 copy of Psychic Energy. It might be 2. I think it's 1 copy of Psychic Energy, and the double boss's orders. Yeah, so there's 1 boss towards the bottom, there's 1 boss around the middle. I'm going to Ultra Ball for this Radiant Greninja just in case. That can get me to the boss, in case I miss the boss's orders, and then I just, like, want to risk getting to the energy. But my deck is still really large, and the odds of hitting those 2 exact cards I need off of just double Shining Arcana is not looking too good for me. I could always find a supporter card to draw me cards, but that won't allow me to use boss. So Chris is at 1 prize card. He will just be able to win the next turn if I'm not able to win here. So Shining Arcana number 1 draws me 2 cards that are not what I need. I do get Fog Crystal. Fog Crystal will allow me to find a Psychic Energy. So I think what I do here is I play the... Yeah, I should play the Fog Crystal here to thin my deck of 1 more card, increase my odds of finding the boss's orders, and then I already have the energy that I need. So yes, that is what I go for. I'm going to use the Fog Crystal. I don't have any 90 HP or less Pokemon in my deck, otherwise I would use the Level Ball. It's kind of pointless there. And now boss needs to be like exactly in the top 2 cards of my deck in order for me to win. So do we get there? Oh, we are also in time, by the way, too, if you guys couldn't tell. This game will definitely be finishing, so time doesn't really matter. And for some reason, I used concealed cards here. I should have used the second Shining Arcana first. Yeah, I don't know why I did that. And then off of this, I draw a boss. So I should have done the Shining Arcana first, but then I still wouldn't have had the boss. Then I could have used the concealed cards and had to draw exactly the reversal energy boss, and I would have gotten the boss and still have been short the energy. So had I done that last turn differently, the way I said, where I bossed up the Mew EX, I could have potentially won, but it's really better that I didn't because of that extreme mess up with the damage from the Moonglow reverse here as well. So my last 2 cards were Psychic Energy reversal as well, because I did know I prized 4 energy from the beginning, both reversals and 2 Psychic Energies. But that was a really good game, much better played by Chris than by myself, and I'm, you know, after my horrible misplay, I'm glad that I didn't win, because I would have hated to get a win by knocking out something that I didn't have the damage to knock out. So as always, guys, do not forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and we will see you guys next time for round 2, which is a doozy, I've been told. So we'll see you guys then.